a possibility, but yeah, I think little bro just little bro really don't want to get in there. Like no funny. I'm not even playing, bro. Like no funny. I really think he don't want to get in there. That shit really throwing me off. Who fucking knows, bro? Who fucking knows? The nigga just gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Until further notice, we still got hope.
Tank Davis, he got arrested. I mean, any thoughts on that one?
He did, huh? Again?
Yeah, again.
I mean, hey, look, I actually like Tank Davis. He's a good, he's a good kid. He's a good fighter, a great fighter, actually. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, just get your, that's it, basically. Just shit, you don't hit women, man.
The first fight between Davis and Roach was a tactical battle that showcased both fighters' skills and determination. Davis started strong, using his trademark power punches to establish early dominance, while Roach demonstrated remarkable resilience and adaptability as the fight progressed. What made the bout particularly intriguing was the way Roach managed to weather Davis's early storm and gradually turn the tide in the later rounds. The competitive nature of the match was reflected in the punch stats, with Roach throwing more punches overall but Davis landing the heavier, more significant blows. This back-and-forth action created an electrifying atmosphere in the arena and kept fans on the edge of their seats throughout all 12 rounds. One of the most controversial moments of the fight came in the 9th round when Davis took a knee after complaining about grease from his hair getting into his eyes. This moment became a pivotal point of discussion in post-fight analyses, with many arguing it should have been scored as a knockdown. Had the referee ruled it as such, the judges' scorecards might have swung in Roach's favor, potentially changing the outcome of the fight. Davis maintained that the grease severely impaired his vision and affected his performance, while Roach and his team insisted it was a legitimate knockdown that wasn't properly acknowledged. This controversy added fuel to the fire for a potential rematch, as both camps felt they had valid arguments about how the fight should have been scored. Following the bout, both fighters expressed mutual respect but also a strong desire to run it back. Davis acknowledged Roach's skills and toughness, giving credit where it was due, while also expressing confidence that he could perform better in a second meeting. Roach, on the other hand, believed he had done enough to win, and saw the draw as a missed opportunity to claim victory over one of boxing's biggest stars. Their post-fight interviews revealed competitive spirits unwilling to let the matter rest without a clear resolution, setting the stage perfectly for what could be an even more compelling rematch. The boxing community immediately began speculating about when and where this potential second fight might take place. The financial success of their first encounter makes a rematch an attractive proposition for promoters and networks. The fight broke attendance records at Brooklyn's Barclays Center, drawing a sold-out crowd of 19,250 fans and generating massive pay-per-view numbers. These impressive figures demonstrate the drawing power of both fighters and suggest that a rematch could be even bigger, especially with the added storyline of unfinished business between them. The economic incentives are clearly aligned to make this fight happen, with all parties standing to benefit financially from what would undoubtedly be one of the most anticipated boxing events of the year. Davis's recent legal troubles had cast some uncertainty over his immediate boxing future, but his release on bail appears to have cleared the path for him to resume his career. His ability to focus solely on training and preparation for a potential rematch with Roach will be crucial, as the first fight proved that Roach is a formidable opponent who can't be taken lightly. Davis will need to make adjustments to his game plan, particularly in dealing with Roach's effective counterpunching and higher work rate in the later rounds. The time away from the ring might actually benefit Davis, giving him an opportunity to study the first fight in detail and come up with strategies to neutralize Roach's strengths while capitalizing on his own advantages. For Roach, the rematch represents a golden opportunity to prove that his strong performance in the first fight wasn't a fluke. As the WBA super featherweight champion, he has continued to improve and gain confidence since their initial meeting. A victory over Davis would elevate Roach's status in the boxing world and open doors to even bigger fights and paydays. He's likely to approach the rematch with the same disciplined game plan that served him well in the first fight, possibly with some refinements based on what he learned from that experience. Roach's team will undoubtedly focus on exploiting any vulnerabilities they identified in Davis during their previous encounter. The stylistic matchup between these two fighters makes for fascinating analysis. Davis relies on his explosive power and precision punching to break down opponents, while Roach employs a more technical, volume punching approach with solid defensive skills. In their first fight, we saw how these contrasting styles created compelling drama in the ring, with moments where each fighter had their advantages. The rematch could come down to which fighter can better impose their will and make the necessary adjustments from their first meeting. Davis may look to increase his punch output to match Roach's activity, while Roach might focus on avoiding Davis's power shots while maintaining his own offensive output. The timing of the potential rematch adds another layer of intrigue to this developing story. With Davis now available to fight and Roach coming off successful title defenses, the pieces are falling into place for this matchup to happen sooner rather than later. Boxing fans are hungry for high-quality matchups between elite fighters, and Davis versus Roach 2 certainly fits that description. The promotional build-up would likely focus on the controversial nature of their first fight, with both camps making their cases for why their fighter deserves the nod in the rematch. This narrative would only serve to heighten interest and anticipation among the boxing public. Beyond the immediate implications for both fighters' careers, this rematch carries significance for the broader boxing landscape. In an era where the best fighters don't always face each other, Davis and Roach willing to run it back demonstrates a commitment to settling matters in the ring that fans appreciate. A clear winner in the rematch could establish either Davis as the dominant force in the lightweight division or Roach as a legitimate threat to the established hierarchy. The outcome could influence future matchups and title opportunities for both fighters, making this more than just another fight on their records. As negotiations presumably progress behind the scenes, both fighters will be preparing mentally and physically for what could be the most important fight of their careers to date. Davis will look to reaffirm his status as one of boxing's pound-for-pound best, while Roach aims to cement his place among the elite with a career-defining victory. The boxing world will be watching closely as this story develops, eager to see if and when these two warriors will meet again in the ring to settle their rivalry once and for all. One thing is certain, when they do meet again, it will be must-see television for any boxing fan. The potential Davis-Roach rematch represents everything that makes boxing compelling: high stakes, contrasting styles, unfinished business, and two proud warriors looking to prove themselves. Their first fight delivered drama and controversy, and there's every reason to believe a second encounter could be even more intense. As both fighters prepare for what may come next, the anticipation builds for what could be one of the most significant fights in the lightweight division. Whether it happens later this year or early next, boxing fans can expect fireworks when Davis and Roach step into the ring together again to finally determine who is the better fighter.